Okay, so we're finally gonna start doing quadratic equations, okay? I'm going to start with the square root method, okay? And I'm gonna try to do a few examples for you guys so that I don't make this video super long either. So the first equation that I want to do, let's try to do x squared minus 4 equals 0, okay? So the first thing that you're going to do to solve this kind of equation is you're going to go ahead and add 4 on both sides, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to cross this out, and you're going to say x squared is equal to 4. And now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. Remember that when you take the square root of a number, you have to include the positive and negative of the square root of that number. So here we have x equals plus or minus the square root of 4. And the square root of 4 we all know is 2. So x equals plus or minus 2. So your answers are going to be x equals 2 and x equals negative 2. Okay, let's do another one. So another one that I want to do, give me 1 second. So I'm going to try to do a kind of a different one. Let's try to do 2x squared plus 14 equals 70. Okay. So this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to subtract by 14 on both sides. And then we have 2x squared equals 56, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and divide by 2 on both sides, and that's going to give you x squared equals, I think it's 28, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. And then what you're going to do last is you're going to go ahead and take the square root of both sides. This gives you x equals plus or minus the square root of 28. Remember that the square root of 28 can be simplified. So let's do the factors of the 28. We have 2 and 14, and then we have 2 and 7. So this gives us, this is going to be the square root of 28 is equal to the square root of 2 times 2 times 7. So this is going to be the square root of 2. Remember that we can split this up into multiple square roots. So we have the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 7. Remember that a square root a square root multiplied by another square root that has the same number takes out the square root. So this is the same as saying the square root of 2 squared times the square root of 7. So this gives us, since we're taking out the square root, it's going to be 2 square root of 7. So our answer ends up being x equals plus or minus 2 square root 7. Okay. Let's see if I can do one more. So let's see. Let's do 4x squared plus 20 equals 16, okay? Or actually, let's try to do a negative 4x squared plus 20 equals 16. So, this one is going to give us, we have minus 20 on both sides, and so this is going to be negative 20, so it's going to be 20 minus 16, and then we have negative 4 is equal to negative 4x squared. So then this, we're going to go ahead and divide by negative 4 on both sides. We have x squared equals 1. So that means that when we take the square root of both sides, we have x equals plus or minus 1, okay? So that means that the solutions are x equals 1 and x equals negative 1. In the next video, I'm going to introduce imaginary units, okay? One of the things that I have really, I think is very important is learning what the imaginary number is. I'm not going to do them on here just because these are very simple ones, and I want to first start with real numbers. But in the next video, I'm going to already start to introduce how to do quadratic equations by, basically I'm going to start to introduce, basically with, the imaginary number and what that means and why we use that in algebra. So I hope this makes things a little bit easier for you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.